Hi, folks in TV land. Hi. Okay, so we got everything rolling here. We got camera 1 and we got camera 2. I feel like I'm in Wayne's World. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1. And that numpty that is waving is my son. He's joining us for this particular episode.
And his name is Numpty.
No,
my name is Austin. Please call me that.
No.
Yes, these guys call me Numpty for no reason.
Christmas. Okay. Are you ready? This time we'll actually do it. Okay, here we go. Hey, GalaxyCast fans! Welcome to this episode of the GalaxyCast number 133. Gary, just pointing that out earlier. Great. Okay, with me as always, Ian the Sci-Fi Czar.
How you doing, Bob?
Austin the Numpty.
Yo.
And Gary the Stud.
That'd be me.
Okay, so we got lots to talk about before we actually get into the episode for Rebels this time around. So let's start with the big news for the week. The big one is the release of the trailer for Avengers Age of Ultron. I came across it by accident. I was online, I happened to be on Facebook, and a buddy sent me a PPM. Check this out. And I clicked on it. I couldn't believe I was seeing it, because last week on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they had said the next episode, they were going to have on the trailer for Age of Ultron. I was like, oh, an even better reason to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I love that show. I've been watching that show religiously. Ian, you said you hadn't started it on the show.
I haven't even started.
I never watched an episode at all?
Nope. Not a single one.
There's some cool characters starting to show up on it now. You might want to consider it. I would even suggest jumping in halfway through season 1, from the moment that Bill Paxton joins on. It's the best part. The first 4 or 5 episodes you probably can skip. Honestly,
I gave up the ghost on 5 episode.
Which episode 6 where it got good.
And it got good from episode 6 on. So I think I gave you the DVDs, right?
Yeah.
Have you watched them yet?
No.
Watch them. I mean, it's totally into it. And I love the way the fact that they put Winter Soldier, Shield kind of commingled together.
Yeah,
really well.
It turned into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Uprising.
Yeah, and it really commingled. They used the movie to help promote the TV show, and the TV show to help promote the movie, and it's the two things are working well together. And I'm getting the impression from the TV show currently, and some things we're seeing tits of what I think is going to come up in Ultron, which is cool. So you're kind of getting a lead up into it. So the trailer is there's so much to take in. I had to watch it 5 or 6 times before I could really process everything in the trailer. And I'll admit, I was an idiot that started pausing to see what I could see. It's pretty obvious what era in Marvel Universe. I figured it out. I figured out what era they're moving towards.
Yep.
Gary,
that's watching it.
The movies or the
Age of Ultron in the trailer, they cut at where we're going with all this. At least I think they have.
Oh, they're going for war.
A lot of hints there about that. First off, Cap's shield, I think, is a huge clue for that. I don't know if you guys caught in the scene where they were on the jump jet. They had Bruce Banner up.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually chained there, which obviously he's going to become home. This is what kind of led into Civil War was the Hulk being an issue. It's kind of interesting. The Hulkbuster armor comes out in the trailer.
Awesome.
Which is awesome. I agree. It's the armor, the Hulkbuster armor is freaking. I like that armor.
It looks as big as a tank.
Well, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the size of Hulk. It's supposed to be able to deal with Hulk. Here's an idea though that I've proposed that I think interesting proposition. I don't think Tony Stark's in that armor.
Who thinks that?
I don't think anyone's in the armor.
It's Ultron controlling it. This happened once before.
I think Ultron, what really is going to lead to the problems with the Iron Mans, Ultron is going to start taking over the suits. Remember,
Ultron can control technology.
Correct. He can control all technology. And in Iron Man 3, Tony started controlling all the suits electronically. And
Jarvis.
Jarvis could do it. So I'm thinking Ultron's going to be an extension of Jarvis, and therefore would have the ability to control the Hulkbuster armor. Therefore, I don't think anybody's in the armar. I don't know if you guys agree with that kind of,
We still have to...
I don't. I disagree with you on 100%. Yeah. Because what I saw in the trailer was that the Avengers are fighting each other.
Well, I think that's going to happen, absolutely. But I think... I'm not trying to let anybody down, but I'm wondering if maybe it's a possibility we're going to find out Tony Stark was never in the Hulkbuster armor. It was just the Hulkbuster armor being controlled by somebody else.
However, there was an Iron Man suit in there when the suit started to form around it, so he could have been controlling that, and then it just
Right, and it formed around...
became an extension, basically.
Yes. Hulkbuster armor can be an extension of the Iron Man armor, any set of the Iron Man armor. It just goes around the armor. So that'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Did you guys catch that Andy Serkis was in the trailer?
Yes.
It took a while for some of this to kind of bubble up to this. Andy Serkis is the guy who played Gollum. That's the thing he's known for in Lord of the Rings.
Precious.
But it's more interesting the character that he's going to play in Age of Ultron, because that was released in the trailer shortly after it. And I forget the regular character's name, but his alter ego is going to be Claw. You guys know who Claw is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was excited. I'm like, okay, Ultron's a bad boy, bad enough on his own, but add Claw in with Ultron, now I think we've got kind of a cool bad combination to have to be trying to fight against.
But we still have yet to see Ant-Man, and Ant-Man's the basic mother or father of the Ultron.
Think you're not going to see Ant-Man.
Not in this...
not in this universe.
Right.
Correct.
This is the Ultimate Universe.
Right. And I think what's going to... Correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, because I'm trying to remember back to Civil War. If correctly, the Avengers break up. I mean, the original group breaks up and go their separate directions.
They had been broken up for a while.
Right, and a different group comes in to take over, and that different group is going to include people like Ant-Man and Mockingbird and some other people, kind of fringe characters before they came in to help run the Avengers for a while. Vision, I think, was a major part of that. Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver. So I think we're going to see that. What did you guys think about what you saw for the interaction between Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and Ultron? Do you think he is going to bring them into the fold here? Because it seems like that's the implication they're getting in the trailer.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you think he's going to go? He's going to be the one freeing them, possibly?
I've only saw the trailer twice. I had to go watch it a few more times to figure out all
And
this.
I've only seen it once.
We're kind of
This
just...
is the second time I've seen it, so this...
I know, I'm crazy.
Dad
I probably
watched it,
way
what,
too many
6 times?
Oh, no, my class alone, we watched it twice in my classroom because the kids were like, we want to see it. So I was like, okay, and we watched it twice. But, I'll admit, there's certain things that froze. And one thing I did notice, there's 2 scenes that caught my eye. Of course, I'm a Captain America guy, so these caught my eye right off the bat. First off, Cap's bike is completely different. If you guys didn't catch, he's got like an ultra-modern bike. It looks more like a... almost like one of those spider-type bikes, but with 2 wheels instead of just 3. And the other thing I noticed about Captain America is there's a scene where he's walking into a dance hall. He's dressed like old Cap. I had to do this a couple times and freeze it just right. And in the background, it's 1945. It's the old, you know what I mean? Like he's gone back in time. Okay. Whether that's going to be a throwback scene, whether there's implications, people have actually mentioned that maybe Captain America is going to get thrown back in time.
I have heard that.
Which, that would be an interesting little twist, because that actually can come back to Guardians of the Galaxy, because that means Cap could have found the Infinity Stone that's the time-traveling stone, which would send him back in time.
Oh, boy.
Which, man, that would really kind of complicate things, because then Cap would be back in time, and that means the Red Skull is now around again, and that would definitely complicate things. Mm-hmm. So there's so much to talk about with that. There's too much
to talk about.
It's huge. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I like the fact that they used the Pinocchio song, and I know it's Disney, and everybody's like, well, it's hokey. I liked the No Strings song throughout the whole trailer. If you didn't catch that, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it's because you're a music guy.
Yeah, I do.
Besides the point, what I kind of like is they might have an homage to the origins of Black Widow, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was, yeah. And what did you see that kind of told you that, Gary?
The ballet dancers.
Yeah, I kind of saw that, too, yeah. Because she was a ballet dancer, right, before she became Rebecca Romanoff. She was
a ballerina before she became
I was confused what that scene was for. It was like a random scene. I thought it was just like out of place. I must have not looked at it right.
Well, and here's the other thing I noticed online the other day that caught my eye. I watched I clicked on one of those random, like, 40 things you never saw in the Avengers movies, right? I never caught that in Winter Soldier, and I had to go back yesterday and I kind of watched part of the movie just to see. Black Widow is wearing a necklace in Winter Soldier throughout the whole thing, and it's a necklace of a bow and an arrow.
Yep.
Almost hinting that the love story between her and Hawkeye is already starting to kind of blossom at this point. Which is kind of interesting because she was flirting a lot with Captain America, and I kind of thought, oh, that's kind of odd. But I never noticed the necklace she was wearing when that was all going on. And so I never noticed that. That was something new for me. So, that's Avengers: Age of Ultron. So that it was huge. Did you guys like the trailer? I mean, does it make you more excited about the movie?
You had mentioned this when you watched it with me, the fact that he says, and you said in the comic books, he held Tony Stark up and said, "There's no strings on me." The fact that they're holding that line is awesome.
Yeah, did you guys ever catch that? Like in the original, when Ultron first came to life, like when he first broke, in the comic books, he actually held up his old head and he looked at Tony Stark and he says, "Now there's no strings on me." That's in the original comic book. In the original time when Ultron finally broke away from Tony and all that. The fact that they paid homage to that, I thought that was cool. Just the fact that they did that. I mean, yes, Disney owns Pinocchio. They can pull it off. They can kind of get away with it. But at the same time, there's kind of an homage there to the old comic book. Did you like the trailer, Ian? Does it make you more or less excited about Avengers?
To tell you the truth, no.
No? You didn't like it?
It's, to be quite honest, I've got no feelings on whether to go and see it or not.
Yeah. You're not a huge Avengers fan anyway, are you?
No.
No.
Well,
how about you, Austin? Does it make you want to go to see
I
it?
really want to see this because I want to see how well they're going to do Ultron because there's so many aspects they can do with this. There's so many different evolutions of Ultron, one being the adamantium armor, others being vibranium armor. They could do a whole bunch of things with this.
Yeah.
I want to see where they're going with this. This is cool. But I don't understand. There was the one scene with the rocks where they got the weird droids whopping around. Is that an extension of him again?
Well, I believe you're going to see Ultron being able to replicate himself, which would not be uncommon.
All right.
Gary, what do you think of it? Do you like the trailer, or is it something that makes you more or less excited?
I'm still in it like that, but I want to see the Avengers get their ass kicked.
Yeah, you just want to see them have their rear ends handed to them.
Wow.
What about the fact that Thor drops his hammer? Do you guys think that's significant of anything?
No.
I didn't think it was either. Everybody's like, "Oh, this means that Thor is going to be gone, and now we're going to have our female Thor," and I'm kind of like,
I just want the Hulk to kick the crap out of him again.
I have to admit that was
blonde,
funny.
poncy git.
I would like to see Thor and Hulk
Battle it out.
tangle again, and have Thor throw the hammer at him, and he catches it and throws it back at him.
that would be cool.
Because no one but Thor should be able to pick that hammer up.
Right.
And the Hulk has done it several times and handed Thor his ass with it.
Yes. Yeah, and that would be cool. Okay, so that was the first one. The other big one was kind of another leak online that came out recently. It leaked. I say the word leaked loosely because this trailer for Age of Ultron was leaked, right? But like Marvel Disney put on their Twitter feed, dang Hydra for leaking that information. Like, almost saying they planned on it being leaked. You know what I mean? Like, I got the impression that it wasn't a leak. Did you get... I mean, Gary, I know you were paying attention to it a little bit more. Did you catch that maybe it wasn't a leak? I'm not so sure it was a leak.
Nah.
I think it was purposefully.
Again, I could care less either.
Yeah, I know, you could care less.
I just want them to hurry up and make the bloody movie and get it over and
Get it
done
over
with.
Well, going through video production, you can tell how long it takes to make a movie.
Yeah. So, recently leaked online also was the Episode 7 concept art for Star Wars Episode 7. And there's lots of pictures here, so we're just scroll through them ourselves. So if you're on video, you'll kind of know what we're doing here. We're looking at some of the pictures that was lined. Now, the first one is like of a girl who's got like a whip, it looks like, and some boots and like a blue skirt type thing on, and
it looks like
looks almost like a pirate to me.
Much.
It's Indiana Jones' daughter.
That's what you said. I said it looks like a Harrison Ford daughter. Like maybe this is Han Solo's daughter potentially.
Is Indiana Jones Harrison Ford?
Well, he is. That's what I said. I meant Han Solo's daughter. But it'll be interesting to see if that really is his daughter. And the whip is a cool homage if they do use it. Like you said, Gary, it'd be cool if it was actually
The one where they were...
Yes, and he's the light whip in other places. Of course, now they're deemed non-canon. We won't go there. Wow. Okay, and then there's a picture of a Wookiee, and I found it interesting that it says bionic arm from War Wound on the picture.
It looks
So
more
maybe
like Chewbacca.
Chewie is gonna potentially have
Looks like a fat Chewie.
like a war wound of some sort. So that I think that would actually be pretty cool for Chewie to have like a war wound and have to have a bionic arm, and I think that's kind of a mini homage to Skywalker too. Then we have what I call like is a sketch guy with, I guess, a robotic part cyborgish, right? That's a little cyborgish. I thought it was interesting. He went away with almost like part. He's drawn another way, almost looking half C-3PO-ish. It's kind of interesting that they've got him that way.
Hey, cool. They put flesh over C-3PO.
Which, that's kind of interesting flesh. that they're looking at that at some sort of
future.
A sketchbook page. It looks like I don't know why I jumped to this. The one on the bottom to me looks like Mole Man. I don't know why. Every time I saw it was kind of like that.
Yeah,
looks like
now
Mole
that
Man.
you pointed out, it kind of does.
Yeah,
he needs the hood.
And then there's one with a guy who's got like 3 sets of eyes. All I could think of was that spider dude on the Clone Wars. You guys remember that?
Oh, the general.
Yeah, he always went as he talked.
Yeah, it's bloody annoying.
Looks like
not one of those characters to deal with.
Yeah. Just... going through some more pictures here. We have a picture of. See, now this one is kind of. I said it would look like stormtrooper armor, but then Gary pointed out the guy's holding a lightsaber. It's kind of interesting. He's got silver armor on, and it's almost stormtrooper-esque. They've even got like a side photo picture of it, and he's got a cape on. But at the same time, maybe he's a Sith that's actually in armor.
Vader joints. Like if you look at the mask, it looks very straight.
Well, me to an extent. Then there's a couple that Gary's convinced out. He might actually be right. It's Vader's helmet, and he looks rather kind of old. There's even what looks like a sonic arm hand. Yeah, it looks almost metallic.
Right.
Like a organic look to it. His eyes are kind of sliding in a mask. And that same character, at least it looks the same. The next frame has almost an alien look about him, but then you see the human top of the mouth. And again, it's the same kind of shot, but looking at the helmet from a different angle. There's some huge stuff here. There's some big hits.
All right, the cloak thing he's wearing looks almost Palpatine-ish.
Yep, to an extent.
Makes it
then we have another picture of what looks like a male holding a lightsaber with two with an alien in the background and some sort of droid looking up at him while he's turning it on. Like I said, it looked almost like a Luke Skywalker child maybe turning the light on for the first time. So I've noticed he did look. Noticed he did lightsaber. I think they're supposed to find it somewhere.
I think that's what that scene is.
You think so?
Is where they found Luke.
Finally
in
found
the
Luke
extended universe, Mara Jade had it, didn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
but
they
again,
cloned Luke Skywalker.
Right, they cloned him. Yeah. And then we have another scene of a sketch where it looks like somebody walking into kind of like a bar type thing. I'm wondering if that's like a cantina scene. Actually, are so high quality they almost look like photos. To them.
It looks like the race scene.
No, what I think it's on Tatooine. If I were to guess, this is Tatooine. There's a guy riding what looks to be a swoop bike. It's got like a boxy swoop bike, and he's going towards what looks like a camp with like fence and stuff around it. You guys notice too? This has like almost to it. Do you see the old West?
Yeah, it looks like the Falcon return of the bike thing too.
Oh, in front of the bike. There's like
over on the other side where the
yeah. Here.
Right at the top.
Right there.
Right yeah, that is the parked in the background. See, I didn't think before. Looks like it's parked like behind itself.
And this ship looks like Attack of the Clones.
Maybe. Then the next one we see is looks like a land speeder type thing. It's huge though. I mean, it's pretty big to be a land speeder. Funny too because in the drawing, if you look off to the right, there is a land speeder to show you size.
It might actually be a spacefaring ship.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's the case too. But it looks, I was saying, Ian, it looks almost Firefly-esque.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever seen this scene, Firefly comes down and lands on the planet and has the four engines and stuff off of it. It's got that kind of appeal to it. Then the next one I thought was even more interesting. This is the Empire, or probably what's left of the Empire. And they've got, Gary pointed out, they have a TIE pilot. or a TIE fighter, excuse me. And it looks exactly like all the TIE fighters that have ever existed before. Like all the other advances we have in the world, they've got them. But when it comes to the TIE fighter, nope, it's perfect just the way it is. And then we see Stormtrooper armor. Yeah, maybe it's just too good the way it is.
Look at the water bottle the British Army carries.
This
the
is
1958 water bottle.
Yeah, it really hasn't changed much since 1958.
It hasn't changed at all. Why change something that works?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Apparently the Empire doesn't know that they can't shoot straight.
But at the same time, maybe they got so many surplus of these old TIE fighters.
That's true, yeah.
It'd suck to have to just toss them all, basically. Waste of money.
I do like the concept of this armor, though.
Yeah, they've got Stormtrooper armor, but it's definitely, like, heavier armor.
Yeah, Commando-ish.
Yeah, it has almost a Commando look to it. Notice, too, that I noticed this now. They've all got pauldrons, too. They didn't always have pauldrons before, but now they all have
they're all
pauldrons.
white.
Not all of them, because the one over here on the left.
The one on the left doesn't.
That's because it's cut off.
No, it's
Well,
not.
it would be. It would be off his right shoulder, and it's not. So
I see it. I see it.
But
I
you
think
see
it's
it-
going off its other shoulder. You could see it right underneath the neck piece.
Yeah, maybe. That
No,
might
I
be.
think you're seeing things now, Austin.
No,
Yeah.
seriously.
You've got to stop smoking
Look at
that.
them
dope.
all. Look at them all. They all got the pauldron off the right shoulder.
Yeah,
Every
he's
single
right.
one of
They're
them.
all
That
off the
one
right
doesn't.
shoulder, and if that one doesn't, so maybe he's the
He's
guy.
holding-
That
he's
maybe
holding
he's
it.
the guy that hit the door on the way in.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm seeing things.
It's
But
spun
he-
around his.
But he did
pauldron.
point something out, though.
The guy's holding his
He's
gun
a
backwards.
left-hander. He
He might be a left-hander. It might be dominant
so
hand
Paul-
for the rifle.
Okay, all right. See, he does occasionally have a good point. The next picture's got what appears to be a TIE fighter.
Yeah, the one Bob flew.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's definitely Bob's.
it's crashed into the ground, and I jokingly said earlier that's got to be my TIE fighter because
He went past the truck that he was trying to pass.
Dad, this is
you
why
know.
we can't have nice things.
actually
These next I like.
is what really happened.
the
Next couple of drawings are really interesting. They're Imperial walkers that have fallen over. Some of them aren't even
they're
completely
destroyed.
over. They're just destroyed and they're sitting aside. There's like a TIE pilot in there. There's also
ATSD.
ATSD head. I didn't see that before. And this is the scene where I honestly, like, if you remember, we saw pictures early on and they showed Walker feet and they said, no, that's not part of the movie. And you're like, yeah, right.
And if you
know.
look, that's the same ship we saw in that
Yeah,
previous
it's,
one.
it's
That's
inside.
parked in the.
Yes,
That's the same ship.
That same style, like land speeder type ship. Yeah, and it
Come
looks
on,
like they're
Kelly.
using the Walker base.
There's a movie that had a truck that too.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Maybe it's a throwback to that.
It might be a throwback. It reminds me a little bit too of you've been trying to into the Road Rage, Road
Rage?
Warriors. What?
Mad Max.
Mad Max. Thank you. It has a Mad Max look to it.
Road Rage.
Sorry. So the next is again seeing kind of the Walker thing from a different angle. I thought that was kind of interesting.
There's
Looks more
Austin
some-
sitting on the top of it.
Yeah, somebody sitting on top of the head. Almost like the Judlin waist in the background.
It
Don't
looks
you
like
guys think?
it looks like it sank into the sand.
Go like that picture again. Bob.
Okay. They're not the fastest low pictures ever.
Kind of looks like over here on the right hand side, the next wing destroyed.
Oh, it's down in the sand there, yeah.
Which would make that ship like an
The engines are probably off of that.
Yeah, they might have ripped the end off. So maybe they're doing a lot of scavenging and
Right.
salvage.
Lace? No.
Yeah, so it makes picture we've got it looks like a landing pad basically, and the Millennium Falcon's off to the left.
Kind of looks like the Outrider over here on the right.
Oh yeah, it does kind of look like the Outrider on the right here. Also looks like that Rebel transport off to the right in the front. So there's lots of things here, like little Easter eggs that you can kind of catch if you're paying attention.
The building in the back looks Kashyyyk.
Yeah, that does kind of look a little Kashyyyk-ish, like almost to an extent. I'm wondering if this is that other picture that I said looked like a Western picture
the different
from
angle.
another angle, maybe. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys you're seeing these pictures. I personally like the drawings. I really do. There's some cool stuff here. The next one's kind of interesting. It's got female jet, female holding a little like with a guy Darth Maul. Got that.
When I first looked at it, it kind of looks Vader-ish. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, it might be
Without the
Vader-ish
top piece
without
of
the
his
top
helmet.
piece.
Right.
Yeah, that might be.
Center portion is
And another female's kind of crouched down behind.
I don't think it's a female. I think it's a dude.
Yeah,
It's a
guy.
dude. That is definitely a dude.
Okay.
It looks like it might be.
It looks sort of Skywalkery.
Yeah, what would have happened?
And it kind of looks.
Well, I'm wondering if that's Jaina and Jason. You know what I mean?
Jason. That's what
Jesus, yeah.
Right.
Huh, interesting. Next picture, it looks like the same female being like
molested.
I was gonna say captured.
Yeah,
I'll go with molested. That's fine.
He's grabbing her
He's
boob.
definitely grabbing the chest area. That's kind of scary.
He's copping a face.
Let's continue.
But he's got a metal face. Looks like darkish, and he's got a metal hand, kind of holding her, and you can definitely see a almost a dead her face. I don't know what that's all about.
She's enjoying it.
Wow. The next one's another, honestly, better picture of Outrider we saw earlier.
The ship.
Actually, it's a different ship. It's got kind of a. It looks like the battle droid tank faced the other way. If that makes sense to people who've ever seen the battle droid tank.
Yeah.
With like a bit of a ship coming off the back of it.
Kind of looks like it's upside down too.
Yeah, to an extent.
It looks like effect backwards.
Yeah. So they took some model parts from Olaf and put them together. And the last one is kind of an interesting one too. It's got what looks like a landing platform on it. Got to a big tower. Millennium Falcon. You think Naboo?
It looks like Naboo because there's the ones back there.
And the big ocean and everything.
That's potential, yeah. I was actually thinking it kind of almost looked like a Sith cast to an extent. You know, with like the little outriding tower and everything.
It's Dooku's bait out.
No,
Palpatine's old. Who knows?
Could be.
Before he became Chancellor.
So lots of interesting stuff there. So any tells in that? You guys think there's any major tells in those pictures?
Nope.
No. Like Gary,
from leaked footage that I've seen of Episode 7, some of those desert scenes look like stuff they've already done.
Yeah, and some of that's even been in that. There was a challenge for donations and stuff. Some of that stuff looks like it's right out of that too. I mean, nothing huge difference-wise, other than we know there's some females that are going to carry some lightsabers, which we knew was going to happen. And definitely the bad guy looks more bad guy-y than I thought he was going to even look. So if that's the bad guy, I like it. I like the look of the bad guy. So does that make you more or less excited about Episode 7?
No.
I'm still
on the ropes. I'm so...
The one scene I'm going to be looking for is going to be probably about a panoramic view of it, and that'll be it.
Yeah. Well, you always look for the stuff in the background anyway, so you're always looking for the background things.
You and Gary went to Thor and just pointed out everything that was going on in the background.
What, like the clock being wrong?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this is what we do. This is how we have fun.
There's going to be a new challenge for you sometime. That's look for all the commercials that are in the background.
No, they're all over the place. They're awful.
And name them all.
Oh, God.
Okay, so if you get a chance, go online, check out those pictures that we talked about. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Head over to GalaxyCast and
Class?
Yeah, GalaxyCast.
Oh,
GalaxyCast.com.
Bloody teacher's off again, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm making my classes again. And in the upper right-hand corner, click on that thing that says "Tell Us More." As a matter of fact, I don't even think it says "Tell Us More" anymore. I think it just is like a thing. It's a little form you fill out. So fill it out, send it in. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say about those pictures. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to talk about Star Wars Rebels in just a minute. Oh, that was nice. And if you weren't tired before, you are now.
Yep, that's down there. I hope you leave it there.
Yeah, no. I would just love to see that one. Okay, those on video lane.
Would love that.
Oh, I'm sure. Dick. We love Star Wars. Oh!
Not another bloody picture.
Gee,
All right.
I didn't know if Bob went out and bought.
Bob's getting overexcited
Star Wars
about another
frames.
bloody picture.
Yes, I went out and bought Star Wars frames. You're right. I spent $8.5 billion in a book that I can watch the movie of.
Actually, I saw that on eBay for $100.
How much were they selling it for initially? It was like
$11.38.
$11.38. That's right, $1,138.
Yep.
It was on eBay for $100.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I bet half the bookstores can't even get rid of them if they have them.
I think it was
Can't get rid of what? The
Star Wars frames.
Star Wars frames, which was
It was Star Wars frame by frame. From Phantom Menace to Return of the Jedi.
right. Yeah,
You turn the page. And,
it was one frame to the next frame to the next frame to the next frame.
And if you do it really quickly,
you can watch
a
a
movie.
yes.
Well, that's what we were saying. Like I have the frame by frame thing. Watch, pause. Pause. So, okay.
Click.
Rant over.
Click.
Rant over. Here we go. And we're back. This is time for us to talk about this episode of Star Wars Rebels called Fighter Flight. Interesting episode. Do you guys kind of feel like did we pick off in a good spot from the last episode, or do you feel like we just kind of willy-nilly started somewhere?
Willy-nilly stirred somewhere.
I kind of got that impression too, and that's why I was bringing it up, because like I did picked up from episode 1.
Are they going to do
this
again where they just play them out of sequence?
No, from my understanding, they aren't out of sequence. They are actually in order. At least not yet, right? Like, they might change production numbers later on and be like, nope, sorry, that's all out of order. But my understanding is they are, production code-wise, it is actually in order. And it from my understanding, as long as Filoni doesn't get his hands on it, the production code numbers will stay in order, and you'll be watching the show in order. But it did feel like there was, like, a gap, right? Like, there was something missing between Spark of Rebellion and this. Actually, this wasn't Fighter Flight. I'm reading the wrong episode.
Droids in Distress.
This was Droids in Distress.
I was going to say.
Yeah, so if you're confused, that's why. We're watching Droids in Distress. But, yeah, I mean, there seemed to be a big gap between the two. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It just felt that way.
The fact that jump into a space chase and you don't know what was happening before.
Yeah, it kind of puts you in a weird spot,
You're
right?
like, what's going on? Why are they getting chased by 4 TIE fighters and an Imperial Star Destroyer?
You know what I do miss, and I know this sounds awful. I liked the way the Clone Wars started with the music and the title.
The old.
Like having
the little saying.
The little saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like the old.
Then previously on
I can't think of it. Back in World War II, they had the.
Yeah, they had the old.
The Parfait movies.
Yeah, old World War II movies. I liked that. I thought it would have been cool if they'd kept that for Rebels, but you know, I'm not picky.
Or at least give us the scroll back.
Right? Yeah, like something like that. Yeah, give us the word scrolling back. Just a quick intro. You know. Yep. Flying off into space.
And I'm just going. Here we go.
And with an occasional, if you can read this, you don't need glasses. You know. Okay, so the Ghost crew basically decides they're gonna go sell a shipment of disruptors. They're not doing well. We find out financially that they're not doing well, which I thought was kind of interesting because the last episode I got the impression that like they steal more for the fun of it than they do for the financial side of it. But we find out, they need the money.
Oh, they do. They are the Robin Hoods of Star Wars.
Yeah, they're robbing from the rich to get.
They
to
still
the poor.
have expenses that they have to pay for. You know.
Correct. This is true. So they decide they're going to go steal a shipment and sell it to a Vizago, which is this crime lord.
Sorry, when I hear in the crime lord portion, I'm thinking Kingpin.
Yeah, kind of. So they decide that there's this shipment they're going to go do. Of course, they kind of argue a little bit about whether they're going to go get the shipment or not, and they finally put it up to a vote, and everybody decides the shipment's the best to keep the Ghost running. It's a shipment that's going to become important. So the strategy we don't even know going in. We kind of know that they want to steal the shipment, but we don't know how they're going to do it. So they land on this planet and they get on a transport, which I think is like the smallest transport I've ever seen in my life.
No, they went to Disney World and they got on Star Tours.
And Gary pointed this out, and I never went on Star Tours, so I didn't know. So the ship looked the same, right, Gary? That's what you said.
It was similar to it.
Very similar. And you said the robot at the front looked like
Captain Rex.
It looked just like Captain Rex, the original Captain Rex. And so like probably just a complete rip from the whole thing. Because, I mean, it's Disney. Why wouldn't they rip it out?
Exactly, why not?
So they get in the ship and they go and they take off. And, of course, the whole time the characters are playing the role of their characters. But I thought it was interesting that the Ezra picked a fight with the droid.
No,
Chopper picked a fight with Ezra, excuse me. And in the process, the droid at the front finally says, well, the droids have to go to the back. Well, in the meantime, R2 and C-3PO had come on board the ship with Imperial. I'm guessing it's an ambassador, right? The one wearing the.
I think so.
But she's talking with a Ponda type guy. She can't understand her.
Just call him Bumface.
Bumface. He does kind of look like a bumface. Yep. She can't understand him, so C-3PO, who's forced to go to the back with the rest of the. And I thought it was funny that they called him an astromech, and he was so offended by that. They asked him to go to the back with the rest of the droids, and of course now he can't translate anymore. So, and I kind of saw this parting, instead the Mando who was sitting behind them, why am I forgetting her name? Sabine, thank you. She ends up translating for the Bumface, Interestingly enough, of course, we knew this was going to happen as we're watching the episode. She translates incorrectly. She tells them they need to go to Bay 17, when in reality they need to go to Bay 7. So that's where I started to catch on to, the bum face guy is the guy that has the weapons, and they're just going to steal it right out from them.
But hold up a minute.
Okay.
He understands English.
Yes.
And if she said to go to Bay 17, wouldn't he raise a stink over that?
I've been thinking that too.
And why didn't he say something on the way there?
Yeah.
Right.
Because they must have walked past Bay 7
Yeah.
to get to Bay 17.
Yep.
It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
He knows what his crap is.
Well, and don't you think the stormtroopers would have been doing their research in advance, or somebody, like she would have been doing her research in advance and knowing where the bay is? Go ahead.
The Imperials too stupid. The Imperials just went, yeah, we're going to trust the ambassador.
Well, I think they are trying to make the Imperials look like they are dumb on purpose.
Well, they can't shoot straight.
That entire scene with, what's his name, Zeb?
Yeah.
When he's got his force pike or whatever it is that he's got, and he's battling them. They are standing right in front of him, firing away like bloody crazy, and they still can't hit him.
Can't hit him.
He's a big freaking blue werewolf.
The other part I didn't like was he grabs the 2 stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Wouldn't the rest of them shoot him when he did that?
Yeah.
No, they're all
Or shot at him and at least missed him.
Right, yeah, or missed them at least. Made it look realistic.
Yeah.
Instead, we played bowling for stormtroopers and knocked over half of them.
Wow.
Yeah, he just watches them get knocked down. And he's supposed to be a sergeant in the lead. And I know there was just a lot of things here that really made the stormtroopers honestly start to look like the droids from from the Clone Wars, right? I mean, like, it made the stormtroopers look a little dumb.
I'm not liking it. I am not liking this whole stormtroopers can't shoot for crap thing.
And that's the other thing, too. They show stormtroopers get blown up.
Yeah.
All right. But you don't show anybody else getting shot or anything?
Yeah, getting wounded at least, or injured or something. Yeah, I agree with you. It's like the stormtroopers take the brunt of everything. Everybody else is like perfect. La-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Just a scratch.
Yeah, it's
just a flesh wound.
Only a flesh wound. Back here, I can bite your ankle off.
And how many times does Cannon have to get blown up, too? And still survive everything?
Mm-hmm. Which one?
Cannon.
Kanan? Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
He's a Jedi. He can avoid everything.
Yeah, right.
Well, and I think that is an old storyline, and I'm getting tired of Jedi being almost invincible. You know what I mean? We had that with Mace Windu,
Hey, Revenge of the Sith shows you that they're not
invincible. You're right, but
yeah, he got thrown through a freaking.
But it gets old. You know what I mean? Like we're seeing the same thing over and over again, and it's getting old. It really is. I'm sorry. What did you say, Austin?
He gets thrown through a freaking window. I don't think he's coming back.
Well, according to Gary, he still could come back.
I think he's gonna.
You didn't see the body?
Exactly.
This is true.
You don't see a body in Star Wars, he's not dead.
So anyway, we go back to them running off with the actual force spikes. We jumped ahead a little bit, but why not? They discover that they're in the wrong place. Chopper tries to stop them for a little bit. Fights off R2 and C-3PO R2 mainly.
Well, no offense, R2's fought, the Goldie droid.
Did you guys like the little kind of play between R2 and Chopper, the kind of, I don't know, fight between the two of them, or was that just kind of hokey?
I would like to have seen Chopper hand R2 his ass.
See, that's what I wanted too.
I would like to see him rip it off and hand it to him.
Yeah, like
because he's more of a roughneck type of droid compared to R2.
Yeah, he's a hefty droid as opposed to R2 being kind of a, medium line droid, you know. Yeah, a wuss to an extent. The fact that Chopper's got the 2 little arms that he can do things with that R2 can't. I think it would have been cool to see him do that. Like grab R2's little electrode thing and just kind of turn it around on him. You know what I mean? And point it on him. Or even just pull it off, yeah.
And then shove it up again.
So, that battle could have been cooler, I think. It could have been cooler. But, I mean, it was kind of cool to see 2 astromech droids go at it.
Or have him rip C-3PO apart.
Right. Or take the electrode and put it on C-3PO. That would have been funny. So anyway, they go back to Bay 7. That's where the fight takes place. That they can't hit Zeb to save their souls, which is absolutely ridiculous. And they decide to take off with these weapons. Now, more importantly, the weapons we discover now are some sort of disruptor weapon.
They're ionic.
Ionic disruptors, which Zeb's really upset about. We don't find out till later why, but he's upset about it. So they all make for the Ghost, and they get into the ship, and they fight their way away, and they manage to take off.
Meanwhile, C-3PO and R2-D2 crawled on the ship.
Yeah. Why did C-3PO and R2 get on the ship?
R2 demanded it, basically, and C-3 was like, wait up!
R2's chasing after the disruptors. He wants to know.
So that's why you think he got on the ship?
That's why R2 did. Yeah.
R2's on a separate mission. You see that right at the end of this.
Right from the get-go. Even when we're on a secret mission.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And
what is R2D2? That he's always on a bloody secret mission, and they have to tell everybody.
But C-3PO announces it to everybody on that transport,
And no one.
and the Imperial people are stupid. They go, secret mission. What are they? What's going on with that? But no, they don't do that.
Nah, R2's never on a secret mission.
He's just an astromech droid. He can't do anything.
So they take off in the Ghost, and of course the Ghost disappears like it's supposed to do. And on their way to landing to meet with Vizago, they're discussing what's going on with the ship. And of course, I found it interesting that now we start to discover that Zeb does not like these disruptors. That they were basically used on his people
Genocide on his people.
as a genocide on the Lasats. And you know, almost get the impression that they treated the Lasat almost like they did with the Wookiees. You know
Worse
what I mean?
than
Like,
the Wookiees.
Yeah, probably worse. Like they
Slaughtered
killed
him.
3/4 of them, enslaved the rest of them. And
I don't think they enslaved any of them. I think
you think they just wiped them out?
yeah. Oh,
And maybe Zeb's like one of the few left.
Right.
You know
He
what I
said
mean?
there are later on in the episode when Callus was talking to the ambassador, which is after this.
Yeah,
He said there are a few Lasats out there, so there could be more.
but not a lot. And
Not
that's,
a lot.
You know,
and none on the planet.
right. And you definitely get the impression that the Empire has no love for the Lasats. That definitely.
Well, that goes back to Palpatine's
anti-alien
Yeah.
feeling and rants. Yes, absolutely. So we land with these weapons, and I thought it was kind of interesting because the Mando Sabine says, "Well, why don't we just sell the droids?" Which I was like, "Yes, let's sell the droids. Get them off the show. Number one, and number two, then you can make your money, and you can keep disruptors, and you're keeping them Empire. It all sounds to me." But they decide not to sell the droids. Because, oh darn! So they unload the disruptors and they take them to Vizago, and in the process, Vizago, he decides he doesn't want them.
No, he wants them.
He wants them.
Just
but
that the Imperials
turn
coming
up.
in. Yeah.
that's right. The
Because
Imperials
he
turn,
will
and he
alert
decides
them.
it's better off not buying
So he
them.
takes half of them and buggers off
Right.
with them.
Yeah,
They never
But-
paid a dime per annum.
but he off with half of them. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't take off with all of them.
But what I got though is Sabine says that with these disruptors you can take down a big capital ship
Right.
with one of them.
Yeah.
Comes the Imperials with talkers. Why didn't you just shoot
Shoot.
the thing?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, why didn't they shoot the
one.
ship?
They didn't shoot.
They shot the Walker, but they
When did they shoot the ship?
Coming in,
Like
yeah.
as it's before it drops the walker, shoot the ship.
You could have
I was
two.
thinking the
You
same
could have
thing.
two that are hauling them around, pick up a gun, shoot them, and then the ship would have crashed. You wouldn't be able to make your deal and run away, and the Imperial couldn't do shit.
And that was my son. Wow.
Potty mouth from him.
And Dad knows where I get it from.
And there's gonna be soap in the mouth later on.
Party, bud.
So they decide to attack the walkers. The walkers, of course, the Empire is here to get their disruptors back. And I thought it was funny because they decide to use the disruptors against them, which is ironic, which is kind of funny. R2 points out that they could actually
Overload them.
backload the disruptors, overload them
And
and
then
have them
kaboom.
explode. Which I thought it was funny because when they load, the one against the walker explodes much less than the one against the stormtroopers. It's kind of like,
Well, actually, that's 'cause-
whoever's making this show really hates stormtroopers.
Well, there's two containers of stormtroopers, and there's only one for the Walkers.
This is true, yeah, but they really hate the stormtroopers.
Exactly.
Because they can't shoot straight.
In the process, Callus lands with a bunch of stormtroopers, and he's now officially carrying one of the
Bow guns. Think
the guns that
Rifle. That's why.
the bull rifle.
Zeb said no.
Nobody in his species carries it except for the Royal Guard, basically, and the different colors mean different things, and the two can go at it. Now, I kind of liked Callus and Zeb battling. using
I'm
these
sorry.
things.
I'm actually starting to like Callus.
Yeah, Callus is starting on me as a bad guy. I like him more and more. He is Callus, and I like that about him.
he
He is there to do a job. That's it. He wants to
He
wipe
doesn't
these
care.
guys out. Right.
And it finds out that he's the one that ordered the kind of on Zeb's people and
Right.
and the fire on them and
Which I just things up for him and Zeb to really go at it later. Like, this could really be a thing that keeps building and building and building over time.
But he also used his hatred to Kim Blues, too.
Yes, he did. Yes. He made him almost...
too emotional.
Yes. And I thought that was kind of cool, too. Used Tim made Zeb very emotional about the thing when really it kind of worked against him in the long run. It didn't work for him.
Which obviously you can tell that either one of them are Force users, because then you need the dark side one.
Right, correct, you're right. And then I thought it was interesting that in all of this, the person that saves Zeb is the guy he can't stand. Ezra comes in and he force pushes Callus. And I'm not even sure he meant to force push him.
He did.
You really think he meant to?
Yeah.
I thought that was
trying to protect him.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to protect him.
But at the same time, he had that Vader. No!
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was kind of like a surprise. You know, I saw it as a surprise. Like, he went to push him, but he didn't think he was going to push him that hard, or maybe he didn't.
He didn't think he was going to hit him, and then he was going to roll under the ground and look like a ball.
Yeah.
Seriously, he went into a ball before he hit the wall.
Callus got knocked out, basically, is what happened.
No, Callus, when he threw Callus, he turned into a little circular spear before he hit the wall.
I think he meant to push him.
Yeah.
The whole emotional aspect of everything just amplified his force push, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
And it shocked him and shocked Cannon or whatever.
Yeah, Kanan. So anyway, they all decide to get back into the Ghost and take off again, and this time they escape Callus yet again. And towards the end of the episode, they decide to meet up with Bail Organa and give him back R2 and C-3PO.
And the Tenet 4.
On the Tenet 4, which is interesting because as they're ending the episode, Organa is asking R2 for all his information about the rebels that he just met.
He said a name in the episode.
Yes, he did. So, overall, I personally didn't think it was a bad episode. Not the most spectacular episode ever. Could have been better things that could have been done. I thought it made the Stormtroopers look really awful. I mean, as far as like characters are concerned, which is kind of a shame. But not a bad episode overall. So I guess we'll go around. We'll rate it. Austin, you haven't rated in a while, so we'll let you rate this one first. 0's a don't bother, 10's a must see. What would you rate this episode?
Somewhere near a 6.5 and a 7.
Okay, somewhere between 6.5 and 7. Any reasons behind it?
They make it look unrealistic. The Stormtroopers have some aim. They don't have horrible aim that they can't hit Zeb, who's point blank range, but they make it look like he's everywhere.
Okay.
He's here, he's there, he's here, he's there. You can't shoot him, he's moving too fast.
All right.
They make him move like flash speed, basically. Which,
okay.
The Lasat, the way he looks like he's designed skeletal-wise, it looks like it's impossible to move that fast.
Right. Like Wookiees would not be the Flash.
Yeah.
Gary, what would you rate this episode?
A 4.
A 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Reasons?
Stormtroopers, come on. Anybody can hit somebody at
almost point blank range.
Yeah, at 3 feet away. So,
yeah.
You can hit them with at least one blaster shot. Maybe not be a kill shot, but it would definitely hit somebody.
Okay. Injure.
And this is the stupidity on the Ghost Cruise aspect. The ship coming in, shoot up the blasters.
Right.
Why wait for the antagonist to get there and then fight?
Yeah. I would rate this one a 5 myself. It's not a must-see, but it's not a horrible episode. I wouldn't tell you not to watch it. It's got some cool action scenes. I liked the Callus and Zeb thing. That in and itself was enough for me to watch it. I liked that part of it. But I'll agree with you, there's a lot of things that don't make sense. The disruptor thing doesn't make sense. Like you said, the Ponda Bubba guy not be able to understand them, but not say anything about it until after they get that doesn't make any sense at all. It's like somebody didn't think it through. Like, hey, this would be a cool storyline, but let's not really think it through too much. Let's just write it down. And it's like somebody didn't really review it before they actually threw it onto a TV screen and made it. So it's not awful, but it's not one of those episodes where it's like, yeah, let's keep going with this show. It didn't really grab my attention in that way. Ian, what did you think of this one?
I'm going with a 3.
Oof. 3.
The only redeeming quality in this entire episode was the Zeb Callus fight.
Yeah.
The way that's building up. That's the only thing that redeemed this for me. The astromech droids pushing each other around is just stupid.
Didn't like the Chopper R2 thing.
No, did not like it at all. And if it wasn't just because of the Zeb Callus, it got a 3 and not a 1.
Okay. One last thought. Do you guys think they're playing to kids in this show right now?
Right now, yeah.
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 seems very kiddish, don't you? I think it does.
Yeah.
Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. I don't know, but you definitely get the impression they're playing more towards the children and less to the classical Star Wars fans. You know what I mean? But we are still hearing the classical Star Wars music. I don't know if you guys caught, but when Ezra had to make some of those jumps he had to make, that Luke Skywalker theme was playing. But that actually bothered me a little bit because that's the Luke Skywalker theme that should not be being played for Ezra. And
it's not Luke Skywalker theme no more.
I understand it, but technically it is.
Just like the Imperial March is not Vader's song.
This is true. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Imperial March is the Imperial March, not the Vader song.
So, I've actually got a question for you, going off topic.
Okay.
What do you think of Palpatine's real name? That they released.
Oh, that's right. They did release that. What was his real name?
Anus or something?
Wow. Something really bad like that, yeah.
Let me Google that real quick. But yeah.
That would be weird.
Okay, this is off topic. And it is order, folks, but oh well, because this is what we do.
It sounds very weak.
Yeah, I thought so.
Thank goodness, right? Palpatine. Yeah, full name, his birth name was really.
Oh.
I think things we talked about at the beginning. Also known as Darth Sidious. Come on, Wikipedia. Yeah.
Probably hasn't been updated yet.
Probably not.
Scroll down. I can't. And it's not my internet either.
I'm not seeing it on here.
I'm not seeing it on here either. All right. What else? Because Wikipedia is. Wikipedia, fix that. Damn it. Yeah, I don't remember the name either, and that's driving me crazy because it was just released too. Mm-hmm. Like that was like I agree with you.
I don't know Emperor Palpatine's real last right down the bottom.
Here we go.
I swear.
What the heck? Why is this so slow? Okay, moviepilot.com is slow today too. What the heck? Okay. I agree with you. The name they came up with was weak, and when I find it, I will let you guys know. But it is absolutely weak. There we go. Sheev.
What?
Right, Sheev Palpatine.
Yeah. What the? Sheev. Hi, Sheev.
What up, Sheev? I'm really scared of you now.
Sheevy boy.
I'm glad you decided to drop that and go Palpatine.
That kid had.
No, what
the Sheev is with you? Really?
I wonder why you fell in the dark side.
You got picked up on a kid. Sheev got bullied. Name became Dark Side Man.
Kicking Sheev.
It's a valid point, Ian. It is a weak name. I don't understand it. I don't know why.
I've just gone with anus.
Might as well have been.
Yeah.
Because it was really awful. I was expecting something like Brute Palpatine. You know what I mean? Like somebody like, oh wow. And you get Sheev.
Lady Sheev.
Yeah. Okay. I think we should end it right there before we start getting more hate mail. So, here in the Star Production Studios, may the Force be with those who listen. Okay. And now I'm going to get hate letters from Dave Filoni and everybody at Disney. Thank you very much, people.
Good night.
Thank you, Emperor Palpatine. Good night. All right, so have a sheevin' good time this week, folks. It was great doing this episode, and hopefully the audio will be up soon. And have a good one.
Bye.